My friends, we have to talk about the supposedly fake news this morning about a Bitcoin ETF. Yes, so I think it was around 8:30 or so that they released news that a Bitcoin ETF had been approved. Cointelegraph did this, by the ways. And then about 5 minutes later, Blackrock, that evil globalist foundation that some of you hate so much, actually came out and said, no, it is fake news and the ETF is still under consideration by the SEC. And all of you, for some reason, suddenly switched to believing in BlackRock, the one that you never believe in, by the ways. And then, of course, the pump went down. There was kind of a God candle for that 5 minutes. It only took like 5 minutes for Bitcoin to go from $27,900 to like over $30,000 on some exchanges. That gave us just a small glimpse of what an ETF could actually do. Now, it came back down, but it seems like the price is basically leveled off. Like it's swinging back and forth around 28,000. And it might settle around there for right now because even though the ETF might have actually been fake news for now, we all know it's coming and people are actually getting ready for it. But could actually an ETF have been approved in the background and BlackRock is just trying to delay the information for later this week? Or BlackRock and the SEC. That definitely could be the case. Since when were we so trusting of BlackRock, calling something fake news and real news? It looks like it just started then. Because, like all of you believe BlackRock is some evil empire that rules the world with Klaus Schwab and the other fat cats, and they're relentless in trying to peck down us poor people. But now when they're sort of like, oh, ETF isn't real, everyone should sell back out. Well, you believe them now, but why do you believe them? The other thing is that there were about $71 million worth of shorts actually liquidated. So it could have actually just been a rogue Cointelegraph reporter journalist who took a really big long position, released some fake news on a top crypto news website, and then got out of her long position when she laughed like an evil witch as she liquidated those poor shorts. I'm okay with liquidating longs and shorts because that should teach people you should never, ever play leverage. Because I'm sure a lot of people got shorts liquidated and then they took longs when they saw the ETF come out and then they got annihilated when it came crashing back down. Those guys with 100x leverage positions, they got annihilated not once, but twice, and they should be crying themselves a river. But I don't feel sorry for them because I've said multiple times on the channel, on the stream, you should never, ever play leverage in crypto, especially not huge leverage, because that is a great way to get yourself wrecked. And that's exactly what those guys did. They got themselves wrecked big time. And you know what? I am not shedding tears for those guys. So, unfortunately, we have that. But there's a more sinister theory that I've come up with. Yes, the more sinister theory is the SEC and that crafty Gary Gensler leaked it themselves. Now you're saying, why might they do this? Think about it. They are on the losing side of all these lawsuits. They have run out of all excuses to actually not approve an ETF. But if they could actually prove manipulation, they could have the ability to actually deny an ETF. And Gary Gensler's probably salivating at that prospect. He's like, how can I engineer manipulation so I actually have an excuse to keep denying the ETF? I know. I will tell someone or engineer a fake piece of news on a big cryptocurrency website, and then it'll pump, and then I'll tell BlackRock to say, we're still reconsidering, and then it will dump, and people will lose millions upon millions of dollars, and bam, right there, I'll have my excuse to deny that Bitcoin ETF. after all the crap that Gary Gensler's pulled off, do you think he wouldn't do something like that? I think he would be perfectly in line to doing something like that. Obviously, this is all speculation, and it could just be a rogue journalist who has a really, really big long, and he wanted to liquidate some shorts so they can cash in. Remember, you know that if you're a journalist, you know exactly what effect this will have. I mean, if you've been following the cryptocurrency market at all, you know that a Bitcoin ETF approval will, from a major news source like Cointelegraph, which is one of my main news sources for crypto, a major leak on that will definitely get people pumping the price, right? So take a long, release your article, people will read it, bam, you get your $1,000, $2,000 pump, get that 1,000x, get that 100x leverage on there, and you've just made hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars by writing a fake article. I do think they need to investigate this and take all the leads, and whoever is responsible should be thrown in jail, and the key should be thrown away. They should be forced to eat the key at that. But the thing is, there's several theories of why this could actually happen, and many of them are more nefarious than we would like to think, but it is possible, very, very possible, that there's definitely nefarious play here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it had to do with Gary Gensler and the US government, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this was actually real news. And if we hear in a day or two that the SEC did approve an ETF, I do actually think that we can just write this off as it was real news, but they just weren't ready to report it, and someone leaked it a couple of days early. And, I wouldn't mind that. I'm sorry for everyone. Actually, I'm not sorry for everyone that got liquidated. You shouldn't have been playing leverage anyways. But it sucks for those that actually got liquidated. But this stuff happens a lot. They have a news and press conference scheduled for a certain date where they make a big announcement, and then someone gets the leak and they leak it out. Now, some people were saying that according to the movement of Bitcoin, maybe some of the whales do actually have Bitcoin, do actually have news that it's going to eventually be approved very soon, and that's why we're up at 28,500 at this recording. But I do think that's just people kind of expecting that the news is at least somewhat real, and they decided to buy up anyways after the dip. And plus, they know that eventually it's going to be approved, so the price eventually is going to go up anyways. So I think there's just some buying because of that. I mean, all the analysts are saying 90% chance that Bitcoin ETF gets approved by January 10th. Between now and January 10th, less than 3 months left. They could approve it any time during that time. With the Grayscale lawsuit, they have a lot of pressure on their ass to actually approve something. So I think people just don't really want to take the risk of missing out on a good buy opportunity, and they're basically just going at it right now. I mean, I don't have any real proof that's what's happening, but to me, it actually looks like that's what's happening right now. People are oh, it might not be approved today, but if that was actually real information and they're just trying to delay the information from coming out, I got to get on it. And even if it's not, it's only 2 or 3 months away. So I don't really want to miss that because dang, I've seen what that ETF announcement can do. I've seen the God candle that it can actually produce. And I want to be part of that God candle. Actually, no, I don't want to be part of that God candle. I want to be bought in before that God candle happens. So therefore, I 100% absolutely have to buy in now. So I don't have to buy in later when that God candle is happening and I am getting totally screwed because I didn't buy in on time. So that's, I think, what's actually happening right now. People are saying hey, this is going to happen sooner or later. And the God candle from a real approval is going to be much, much higher. This sustained for 5 minutes and it went past 30,000 on several exchanges. I think if it gets approved, we can go above 35 in the short term and 40 after a couple of days. I'm not really sure when that will happen. And the thing is, we have to get to 40 before the halving anyways, for the most part, because otherwise it's not really worth it for the Bitcoin miners to actually mine at this point. And I don't really think the hash rate is coming down. It keeps on reaching all-time highs. So it's just getting more and more and more expensive to mine. And they can't really take losses for a long period of time because a lot of them are probably already on the brink. So the thing is, we have every single factor working for us within a pump, And it's like half a year until the halving, about 3 months maybe until they get a Bitcoin ETF. So with all those factors like colliding in, I just don't really see them delaying this very, very much longer. So people are seeing that. They're trying to get in, even though this was fake news this morning. And like there's always the off chance that was an SEC leak or possibly, like BlackRock is just hiding information that is actually going to come out later. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.